Good morning, dear students. How are you all? I hope you all are safe at home. In the previous video, we had started our chapter number 8, that was computer programming. It was chapter 8 and it is computer programming. In the previous video, we had studied about what is a programming language, what is a computer program, computer language, how can we write a program, okay, what is the type of or what are the types of computer languages, okay, and what are the features of that individual computer languages. So we know a computer program is a set of instructions. What are these? They are the set of instructions that we use to accomplish any task. Now, when we are using a computer, so computer understands only one language. Which language was that? The language were machine language. Machine language is also known as binary language. Bi means 2, so it uses 2 digits to represent the code, to represent the program, and they are 0 and 1. The types of the languages are low level and high level. Okay, in the low level languages we are having the 2 types, machine language and assembly language. In the high level language types we are having 3rd generation language, 4th generation language, 5th generation language. In this way we are having the types of the languages there. What is a language translator? Okay, what is a language translator? Translator is a device, or you can say a machine that we use to translate. Okay, like we are using English translation book to convert English sentences into Hindi. How we find the work for English, like convert English or translate the English sentence into Hindi. Okay, or you can say translate the Hindi sentence into English. Here what we are doing? We are translating the form. In the same way, a computer have a language translator. What it is having? A language translator. As its name indicates, it is used to translate a language. What is the use of it? It is used to translate a language. And how it translates? It translates the high level language into low level language. How it translates? It translates a high level language, means its main use to convert high level language into low level language. And the low level language, which type? The low level language, machine type. Because there are 2 low level languages, machine and assembly, but computer understands only machine language. So we need to translate the high level language into the low level language, machine type. Okay. Now, they are also of 3 types. How many types they are? They are of 3 types. First is assembler. What is the first one? The first one is assembler. What is the use of this assembler? Assembler is a device that is used to translate assembly language into machine language. How it converts? It translates assembly language into machine language. Okay. Assembler is a device that is used to translate a assembly language into a machine language. Okay. Now, what is the second one? Second one is interpreter. What is it? Interpreter. Interpreter. It is related to a word interpret. Have you heard? Interpret means to explain. Suppose I am here to interpret about any event. Any event occurred here and I am going to interpret what happened in that duration. Okay. So interpreter is a device that is used to convert high level language into low level language line by line. How it converts? It converts the program line by line. Suppose my code is of 5 lines, my program is of 5 lines, so it will at first translate first line, then it will give the error of that line. Suppose we have done any kind of spelling mistake there, so it will show us the error. So in this way, as the line completes, it will show us the error. Okay, so what is interpreter? It translates high level language into low level language line by line. Okay, it shows errors as one line completes. Means as we execute one line, it will show us the error. In this way, line by line, the error will be shown to us. Now, there is the third language translator and it is known as compiler. What is it? Compiler. Compiler and interpreter are similar to each other. The only difference between both of these are when we convert the program or high level language into low level language, so compiler translates it in one go. How it translates? In one go. In one go means एक बार में. Suppose my code is of 5 lines, so it will convert the whole code at once. Okay, and it will show us all the errors at one time. Means at last it will show us errors of each line, each word. If they are having some mistakes, so at last it will show us. Okay, but what interpreter does? It translates the error codes line by line and it shows us the errors as one line completes. Okay, so it translates high level language into low level language in one go. Okay, so these are the types of language translator. First one is assembler, second one is interpreter, and third one is compiler. Okay, so these topics we are revising so that we can go to the next topic. Our next topic is algorithm. What is our next topic? Next topic is algorithm. What is algorithm? Wait. Yeah. The next topic is algorithm. What is algorithm? Algorithm is a set of steps. What is it? It is a set of steps arranged in sequential or ordered manner to accomplish any task. Means to complete a work, the number of steps that we are following is known as algorithm. Algorithm we always write in simple language. How we write it? We write it in simple language. The English language we are using, so it should have simple words. Why it should have simple words? It should have simple words so that the one who is reading the code can understand it well. Okay, because we know for a specific work we are having different words. Okay, so all are not aware about the complex words of English, so we should write the algorithm in a simple language. Okay, so it is a set of steps. What is it? It is a set of steps arranged in sequential manner. How we are arranging these all? We are arranging these all in a sequential manner to accomplish any task. Accomplish means complete. Okay, so here we are going to complete our task. So the steps that we are following to complete the task is known as algorithm. Okay, it should be simple. How it would be? It should be simple language. Okay, example. Suppose I am going to pack my bag, school bag. Okay, a student is at home and he is going to pack his school bag. So how it should or what steps he should follow to do any task? Every task is having few steps. हर एक काम के लिए हमारे कुछ steps होते हैं. When we follows, then the task can be completed successfully. Every task while we are packing our school bag. So how we are doing it? At first we are taking our school bag. Then we are seeing the time. Then we should see the timetable. Okay, according to the day. And then we will go to the bookshelf where we are keeping the books, notebooks. Then we will take the book and the books that we need to keep in our bag. We will take from the bookshelf and that are not according to timetable. We are keeping it back there. So in this way, we have kept the books and notebooks in the bag. Then we will close it. These are the steps to pack a school bag. Okay, suppose we are going to make tea. How? What we are doing here? We are going to prepare tea. Okay, so which steps we should follow? At first we will go in the kitchen. We will on the gas. Okay, then we will take a kettle for it. Then we will pour water. Then tea leaves there. Then ginger. Whatever we are going to place there. Then we will burn it. Then after we will add milk. Then after we will add sugar. Okay, then we will boil it. After 5-10 minutes we will store it in a cup and then we will serve. Means it is also having a few steps. Suppose we are going to make any veg, so we are following some steps. Suppose we are going to learn how to drive, it should also have steps. How to change the gear, how to use ABC, accelerator, brake, clutch. Okay, so in this way every task is having few steps, and if we follow all the steps one by one, then the task can be completed successfully. Suppose in the maths we are going to find the product. Okay, so how we can find the product? How we teach the students? We teach the students that suppose we are having two numbers for it. One is 2 and second is 3, and we want to find the product of these two numbers. So what we are doing? At first we are starting the task. Every algorithm starts with which word? Start, and it ends with end word. They are mandatory to use here. Okay, start. Then after we should take two numbers, because while we are doing addition, while we are doing multiplication, while we are doing subtraction, division, we need how many numbers? We need two numbers. Okay, so here we are doing the multiplication, so we should have two numbers to do the operation, multiplication operation there. So we will need two numbers for it, then we will multiply, then we find the result. Okay, so every task is having few steps, and when we follow all the steps in a sequential manner, then the task will be completed successfully. Okay, suppose we are going to find the simple interest. What we are going to find? We are going to find the simple interest. So while we are, means I am writing here algorithm to find simple interest. SI stands for simple interest. So we will start it. The first step is start. The second is while we find simple interest. So what things we should have? We should have Principal, rate, time. What should we have? PRT, principal, rate and time. Okay, as we get it, we do the processing. Simple interest equal to P into R into T upon 100. PRT upon 100. So we can easily find the simple interest. So our result is there, and then after end. Okay, suppose we are going to find the square root. So how we follow the steps for it? Square root. Okay, first is we are starting the task. Second is whose square root we want to find. Suppose we want to find the square root of 6. We should have a number for it. Sorry, 9. Okay, then we are finding the square root of it. Suppose 3, then after end. In this way, every task or every process have few steps. When we follow these all steps, then task can be completed successfully. Now, what is flowchart? Next is, what is flowchart? Flowchart, we know it is a kind of pictorial representation. What it is? It is a kind of pictorial representation, means the form of algorithm. When we represent in the form of pictures, it is known as flowchart. What is flowchart? Algorithm, we know, we write it in a simple language. But what is flowchart? Flowchart is a way to represent the algorithm in pictorial representation. What it is doing? We are going to represent the algorithm in pictorial representation. So it is known as flowchart. Flowchart. What is flowchart? It is a way to, or you can write, it is a pictorial representation of algorithm. The algorithm that we are having, if we are going to represent it in the form of pictures, so it is known as a flowchart. Both are same. In one we are using language, in one we are using the diagrams. Okay, so flowchart involves few diagrams that we use to represent the pictorial representation. The first one is start box. We know that when we start any algorithm, so we use a start, and when we end an algorithm, we use a end box. Start box, end box. So here the same way we are having start and box. Okay, at there we will writing start word, here we will represent it with the help of picture. What is the symbol of start and box? The start and box is similar to rounded rectangle. How is it? Rounded rectangle box. What is the shape name? The shape name is a rounded rectangle. Means its corners are rectangle, rounded. It is a type of rectangle, but its corners are rounded. So it is known as a rounded rectangular shape. Okay, what is this? It is used to show start and end points of algorithm. What is the use of start and end box? Start and end box we use to represent the start point and end point of an algorithm. Okay, suppose when we are writing the algorithm to find a product, so we are using start and end. Here we will represent start and end both by this shape. Means it is the start box and we write start in it, and the last process is end, so we will write end in that one. We are going to write start and end both in the algorithm as well as in the flowchart. But what is the difference there? The difference is that here we are writing start and end in the box. Okay, and there we were writing it in the step number 1 and the last step. So here we will write the start and end in the boxes. Okay, now as in the algorithm, after start process we needs input numbers. What we needs? Input numbers. Suppose I am going to add two numbers. One number I can't add. Suppose my number is 4. So which number we have to add in that number? So we need a number extra for it. So we need at least two numbers there. So if we are going to do addition of two numbers, so input we need two numbers there. Here in the same way we need input. Okay, जिसको भी हमें ऐड करना है वो हमें इनपुट चाहिए. ठीक है, अगर सपोज आई एम गोइंग टू ट्रांसलेट अ सेंटेंस इंग्लिश इनटू हिंदी, सो वी शुड हैव अ इंग्लिश सेंटेंस जिसको ट्रांसलेट करना है हिंदी में. सेंटेंस वी शुड हैव, सपोज अ सेंटेंस आई हैव टू कन्वर्ट इन इंग्लिश, तो मेरे पास वो हिंदी सेंटेंस होना चाहिए. इन द सेम वे हियर वी नीड अ इनपुट. Okay, so in that we were writing input numbers. Here we are representing it with the help of input output box. The second is input output box. What is it? Input output box. Like start and end, input output box are also of same shape. The shape is the same of input output, start and end. Okay, input output. Input as its name indicates, it takes the inputs on which we want to apply the process. हमें ऐड करना है, मल्टीप्लाई करना है. What we want to do, we need a input number for that. And as our task get completes, we represents the result in the form of input box. How we represents the result? We represents the result in output box. So input box is used to take the input. Output box is used to represent the result. Okay, they are of same shape. The shape is parallelogram shape. What is the shape of it? Parallelogram shape. Input, output box. And what are the uses of these input output box? It is used to show the input numbers and displays the result in output box. Input box is used to take the input numbers that on which we want to apply the operation, and in the output box we are going to display the result there. Suppose I am going to find the addition, so in the input box I will write input number 4 3. I want to apply the addition operation on it. So after the result I will find in the output box 4 plus 3 means 7. Okay, this is output box. Output box will represent the 7 and input box will show us the two numbers on which we are going to apply the operation. So this is input output box. The shape you have seen. Okay. The third one is process box. What is third one? Third one is process box. The box in which we do the processing task, that is known as process box. Process box is of rectangular shape. What is the shape of process box? Process box shape is like a rectangle. It is used to show the processing. Suppose I am going to do multiplication. So the multiplication task is happening in this processing box. I am going to add, so the processing is happening in the process box and the shape is rectangular. I am going to find a simple interest. So simple interest equal to PRT divided by 100. Every processing is happening in the process box. So it is clear that the process box is used to do the processing. Its shape is like a rectangle. Okay, so the three symbols we had studied today, start and box, input output box and process box. Start and box is used to show starting point and ending point of an algorithm. Input box is used to show input, output box is used to show the result, okay, and process box is used to show the processing. What processing we are doing in which box? Process box. Start and box shape is rounded rectangle, input output box shape is like a parallelogram, and process box shape is like a rectangle. Okay, so you all will watch the video properly so that you can understand which topics been explained in today's video, and then we will move further in our next video. Okay, thank you.